No, the only time I actually seen golf is basically Happy Madison from the Adam Sanders movie. That's the only time I actually was into golf and mini golf. And really, that's it. I really have no interest in golf. But this anime kind of helped me get into it a little bit more because they really do breaking down a lot of the rules. And they do it well enough, interesting enough. It also explains why people got into it so much because how heavily strategized it really is. Of course, this is your first time on my channel. My name is Recho. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, do reviews, first impressions, cartoons, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, if you like how it's going, you like to help my channel, put like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If you don't, that's fine too. If you do, thank you, because every little time someone put like, comment, and subscribe or share really helps my channel. Especially, I'm getting close to my main goal, 1,000 subscribers. Because every time someone put a like and share or subscribe does help. Thank you. Now let's start the review of Rising Impact. Now, how you make a sports anime work, or better yet, how you make a specific sport like golf interesting in anime, because golf is sort of hard to sell, even that you know all the rules, but you still have to make it entertaining, and that's one of the biggest leaps of this anime called Rising Impact, because it sort of showed you all the rules and how you get into it, especially in this new character called Go, who is sort of a very talented kid who actually barely starting to understand how to play golf. And he sort of decided becoming the best of playing golf. For no apparent reason. He just wants to be the best of something. And he thinks golf could be his thing. Even that he doesn't have no understanding of the rules. But he actually can swing pretty well of a ball. And he thought that's good enough to actually become a professional. But surprising to him, it's sort of more complicated just swinging a ball one point to another point nowadays because there have rules and regulations, even sort of techniques to actually fully understand that. And this anime breaks it down, also asking that question to go, what do you play for? And he just being really honest because he's sort of a, let's say it's a country boy. He just say one specific thing. It's just like playing the game. And that's it. It's not that complicated. But how he's starting to learn the game and understanding the sort of the rules, there are other things come a factor that there's always a competition, but cutthroat competition. Doesn't where you go, doesn't matter which sort of game, organization, or company, it's always been cutthroat kind of situation. But because Go is just sort of a very naive, very awkward social person, he doesn't know his boundaries of talking to other people. He sort of rub on people a right way, the almost understanding what do you play golf for if you have more fun. Instead of being sort of cutthroat, cutting yourself down, you sort of help each other to become better because you love the sport. Of course, some of them there just do love the sport, but of course they like making a career. But this is sort of the interesting part about Rising Impact. It just sort of shows you how it's sort of hard to be the best. I mean, it's a sports anime. Each sport you have to be a best because that's sort of the end goal. But I do admit they make this anime interesting because it's just sort of hard to make it work. I mean, you've seen the sport channel focus on the golf channel, like how boring and dull and patient if you don't really understand the rules and what how much strategy actually does playing golf nowadays. And something you think it couldn't work, but it does. I think this is the only sport makes sense just focusing on the strategy of the game and also how they make it interesting because it's just sort of hard to make it, but they do. Of course, it does start a little bumpy in the beginning, especially Gull. That's the type of character that you gotta hate or like because he has Goku energy. That he's sort of naive, foolish, and he doesn't realize there are rules. You cannot be the best, even you actually are a good swinger for a ball. but he sort of comes down and really figures out what is the rules, how much he had to give up to actually become a professional to fully understand it. Well, it really helps if Gull is a sort of a, the only relative survive. I mean, relative survive. He's sort of a orphan. His grandfather adopted him so to protect him, but he realized Gull love golf now words, and he realized he had to let him go to become the best golfer because that's what he wants. Like he has really a lot of energy, but he doesn't know where he's directed. He doesn't know what he wants in life till he realized I had to be best at something. And he sort of accidentally met this sort of professional golfist that she sort of teach him what is golf and what he accepts and what exception golf really is. And this is what sort of his journey to fully understand how to become a professional golfist. Of course, be fair, everybody's belittle him because how little he is. Of course, he's sort of between 8 or 9 years old. I don't remember the anime really described his age. The only thing described he's about third grade, so he about 7 or 9 ish. You can say 8. Let's go 8 years old. But because that sort of naiveness, that sort of humbleness he really has, on top of all this, he doesn't have very understanding of social rules. In other words, he always come up very forward. He has no filter. He says what he thinks, but that's sort of kind of good in a way because he does understand people do have reason to play golf, but don't forget the reason why you playing golf. And also the sports of the spirit of the sport of playing golf now. And this was sort of kind of charming, especially all the strategies that actually go into playing golf. Because I'm one of those people who kind of don't like golf because it's just sort of kind of dullish. But you sort of start playing the game, you get it. You get why people actually loving it, and the fact this anime do portray how you play golf are the right way. The reason why people sort of like it because it's just sort of very strategized type of game. They have to be patient, but at the same time, you understand there are lots of rules. So many rules that I have never heard of. Of course, I have never played professionally or never played in a true golf game. I only play a mini golf before, but even that playing mini golf, it's really hard. It looks simple, looks dull, but it truly is difficult to actually play decently at least because it does take a lot of talent and patience. You also understand all the rules because they have rules even that if you're trying to help someone, you get sort of flagged because you attempted to help someone because at the end of the day, the whole game's the point is sort of winning, and you cannot help, you cannot touch, you cannot do anything, and that's sort of impatient. This is the reason why this game is sort of very heavily, strongly strategized because every little thing can actually screw you over, like to change the weather, how the air can easily move the ball, how rain can actually hit your eye when you actually your turn to tee off a ball. Everything can actually screw you over, so you have to sort of strategize every little thing. Even the sort of golf stick you use. I know it's not the right word, but you get the idea. They show you each simple kind of staff you use or stick to hit the ball has a sort of purpose and reason, and the length of it has a purpose also. That it's just sort of very detailed. Of course, does have this other problem that could easily be boring. That's why I said at the very beginning, or I think I said very beginning, please correct me, that this kind of start kind of clunky because Gon, he is sort of kind of over the top a little bit. He sort of have Goku energy, but in not a good kind. It's something that still sort of figuring out how much he should be hyperactive, how much low key he has to be. But they figured it out around episode 2. This is the problem. Episode 1 can actually kind of bore you or piss you off about the character, but the more the episode go, the more likable he actually became. Of course, the animation is good, but the character design is sort of I mean, it's sort of strange. I mean, you have a specific art style, but they borrowing characters for different time periods. I mean, different era of animation. Some character looks like from the 60s, other character looks like from the 90s. You see what I mean. You watch the anime because each simple character design feel was inspired from a completely different era of animation, but just character design. Animation wise, it's fine. Everybody looks right. Everybody looks decent. Even that how they use animation to really show what they're actually talking about, how the sound you hit the ball, or how you navigate something really close to shoot the ball to the hole. Everything just done right. It just sort of clunky at the very beginning to actually really appreciate. It takes a little while to get used to some the kind of voices because some of the voices they're not bad, but they are very familiar. You watch a lot of anime. It's just unusual to hear that specific voice playing that specific character. Once again, when you start watching, you get what I mean when you start watching. Like there's some voice actors they're so recognizable of sort of part and they play a completely different part. It sort of throws you off for a second, but you get used to it because the whole point is just sort of enjoying the game. The reason why these characters really love the sport and really understand the rules and regulations of the game. Of course, they have that moments that have sort of kind of how the best way to describe it, anime logic. They do sort of techniques and moves that almost are possible to do in reality, but it does it just enough to keep it grounded to sort of explain certain things because sometimes some anime sports do overdo it a little bit, sort of becoming almost like Dragon Ball Z by accident. But this one has some restraint because they know less is more than doing so much more. Least the impact or at least the reason why the people play golf nowadays. But all of that I do kind of recommend. In fact, I recommend the three episode rule. Watch the first 3 episodes. If you like it, you keep watching. If you don't, avoid it because the first episode is sort of shaky. You could say it could be boring for you because how kind of lean back it really is. It's sort of kind of trying to be wholesome, but without any problems. The wholesomeness sort of doesn't have any weight, but they tried to fix that on episode 2, episode 3, and they do fix it because the more characters go meet, the more interesting in the reason why they play golf, and also all the strategy and the reason why they want to be the best, and it's just sort of interesting. But besides that, it's not probably the best sports anime. It's sort of good enough, interesting enough to enjoy, interesting enough to actually finish. Now I have the one question: how you thought about this anime? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.